Here is a look at your gap and go trades for the week of April 28th, which is this white line, through May 2nd, which is this white line. I will go over price targets on the 5-minute time frame, have a gap recap from April 21st through the 25th, and update the chart as well. Hi everyone, it's Dow on the Dow. First up is Sofi. We ended the day at $12.88, up 4.63%. This is where we ended. To the north side takes us back to the middle of the trend and the baseline, which is now 1305 roughly. Above that at 2 standard deviations, which is an area of resistance and a potential take profit area at 1343 and a potential area to go short. Above that at 3 standard deviations and another level of resistance at 1363. And at 4 standard deviations, but do not hold your breath for price to get to this level. On Monday, that is roughly 1383. Will we get to this level at a certain point later on the week? We could absolutely do that. Now, to the south side takes us to -2 standard deviations and another level of support and a potential buy-in area and a potential stop loss area. Below that, at -3 standard deviations, 1246, and at -4 standard deviations and another level of support and a potential buy-in area and another potential stop loss area, $12.26. I don't think we will get to this level, but should we wick down to this level, you can bet it will get bought up. Now ignore all the other horizontal lines. This is an old middle of the trend line as well as this line, this line. This was a price target that we already hit a while ago at 12 bucks. Now, looking left, as far as the other gaps go, let me clean up this gap. This gap that took us to 1307. Oh, wait a minute. Let me just make this a little bit bigger. No. We did not touch it. We got close at 1305, which was the high right here. And that was this wick. So this is still in play for the upcoming week, but I can guarantee you this will touch on Monday at taking us to 1307. That's an easy play. And that started on Thursday, March 27th. So that will finally close, I believe, on Monday. And I'll let you bank on it. All right, the next gap I want to go over is this gap. We had an opportunity gap that went up. We gapped up, and now whenever we retrace, that will take us down to roughly 1234, but we are in an upward channel on the 5. Just something to be aware of. And this gap, we gapped up, so this is going to take us to the south side, and that has yet to fill as well. Just something to keep in mind. Taking us to roughly 1129, and then we also have this baby gap, which I really don't like to mark out these, but if you like to track all the gaps, then this is definitely one to be aware of as well. Now, last week, when I looked at price, we were at 1098 and ended the week at 1288. Let me mark that out. So 1090, wait, hold on a second. Oops, there we go. You have to put your cursor on just the right spot. Okay, let me try this again. 1098, well, that's 1099, but that's okay. To 1288. Oops, got that going the wrong direction. $10.98 is right there. Gosh darn it. wow, this, oh, you know what? It's because I have my magnet, do I have my magnet turned on? And I got to go past this point. Hold on one moment. Let me try that one more time. There we go. But let me fix this. Coordinates. 1098, 1288 is a return of 17%. Why is that? Why is that not lined? Oh, that's because that's down here. Okay, now that makes sense to me visually. Okay, that's a 17% return. So congrats if you were in that swing trade for a week there. Fantastic. Now, the other gap that you want to be aware of to the north side is this one that will take us to 1340 whenever it closes out. It starts at roughly 1312, and this gap opened up on Thursday, March the 6th. Okay, and what happened to this gap down here? This gap that started on Thursday, April the 3rd, touched right here on the 24th, so congrats if you played that gap. Okay, that needs to be deleted. That is no longer in play. 1230, delete, and it started down here at 1141. Okay, so that's done. And then we had this gap down here, multiple gaps within the week. All right, and that touched right here at a place we've been in 2024. This yellow line is the line I marked out in 2024. The purple lines are in 2025. So 11th, oops, gotta grab it in the right spot. 1131, delete. 1131, delete. All right, and that started again on Thursday the 10th, and that started at 1101 and closed out at 1132. So congrats, that one's done. There's no price label, so I'm all tidied up now. And the RSI looks like it's going down on the 5. Oh wait, no. Let me move this out of the way. There we go. It's actually turning up. I was looking it down here. All right, that's good. So we've got room to move to the upside, which means that gap that I just talked about at 1307 should easily close, and then we could even close out this 1341 if we're lucky. Fingers crossed. Let's move on to the next one. I've spent too much time on Sofi. I'm going to blaze through the next ones. All right, so again, I'm just looking at from this period to this period, and we are still in an upward channel. The middle of the trend at the end of the week, if we go forward, could be 1381 and even 1351, okay? So 1262 is where we ended, up 4.38%. Resistance, 1281, 1296, 1312. The middle of the trend takes us back to an area we've been that I've already marked out a long time ago, which was, oh my goodness, back on Monday, January the 27th. We've retraced back to this level. But let me do one thing. So this is going to get deleted. And now, oops, oh, let me Command Z. Let's try this again. Oh, let's delete that. Let's put this back. So 1252-ish. Okay, many levels of support and resistance in between -2 and 2. But -2 takes us to 1221, 1206, and back to an area we've been, roughly 1191. What happens? Sell off at resistance, bounce at support, grinding along the middle of the trend here. This gap is still in play to the downside at 1138 whenever we reverse course. This gap is also in play, taking us down to 1120. I should mark that out. I'll do that later. And what happened with this gap? Oh, this gap touched. Oh, I never cleaned this gap up. This touched out of the gate on the 14th of April. I got sloppy and I didn't see it. So that hit right when we gapped up that run there at 1173. That's done. Done. Okay, anytime you see a price label, you know to go back. So last week price was 1160, now we're at 1262. All right, this gap that opened up on Thursday, April the 3rd, closed on the 25th. So congrats if you played that gap to the upside. 1247, delete, delete, no longer in play. It started at 1213, ended at 1247-ish. Okay, and then the next gap we're looking forward to takes us to $13. After that, $13.53, one gap at a time. And that is all I'm looking at for gaps to the south side. I forgot that Sofi's earnings report is coming up, so keep your eyes on that. That thing is going to take off the minute, they start collecting more student loans again. It's ridiculous that people take out student loans and don't think that they have to pay them back, or that the bank will never call them out on it. Give me a break. What reality do you live in? That just cracks me up. Unbelievable. All right, the next one is Tsly. We ended the day at 832, up 4.13%. This is where we are. Resistance. Right there. 836 could be resistance, and then we could also grind along the middle of the trend going sideways there. Very close to where we've been before, and so that's getting kind of congested, isn't it? So why don't I just delete this line? I'm just going to take at 823. I'll just keep the ones to the north side. All right, after that, 858 and 870, 881, 813, 801. This gap closes out at 798. Let's mark it. And then 790. As far as the gaps go, this is an opportunity for closure to the south side at 732. This is also an opportunity gap if you like to go short. But right now we are still in an upward channel, so keep that in mind. Oops. Now what happened here? This gap is done. That closed on basically on Friday the 25th. We closed up at 801. Congrats. Wow. That's nice. If you were down here to here, what is that? A return of at 801 takes us to 16%, but we went even higher. That's a 20% return. Very nice. Delete. Okay, so that's done. What happened here? Oh, I forgot to clean up these gaps. Okay, here's one that's done. That took us down to 828. We went down more and bounced back up. Okay, and then what happened with this gap? Oh, this gap closed out of the gate on Monday the 14th, so that's done. That took us to 843, so delete that. And then this gap is still in play, but we tickled the bottom edge of it. And then we have this gap that will take us to 856 roughly. Let me mark out this thing, 841-ish. And then we have this gap at 883, and then this gap. All right, that's enough there. And to the south side, oh, I guess I bought some at $7. I got a dividend payout at $7.93. So I'm in this ticker still, and I probably should just get off the gravy train, be done. and then look for some other things. Just lock in my gains. So 832 is, I'm up, wait, 832, I'm up 18%. Okay, what else? So those are still in play. This thing has whipped us all over the place, let me tell you. It does pay a nice dividend. All right, next one. Estee Lauder ended the week at, Estee Lauder, we ended the week at 59.39. And to the north side, all right there, 59.83, we could chop sideways, pull back, 61.13, 61.80, don't hold your breath, 62.47 for price to get to that level. That would be lovely, but don't bank on it. 58.51, 57.85, and 57.18. Estee Lauder reports in a few more days as well. Now let's look at this gap. We've got a gap down to 56 bucks. Another gap taking us down to 55, so that's a better buy in. And then what happened here? This gap, this opportunity gap, let me clean it up, actually touched right here on the 25th. It opened up on the 16th. Delete, no longer a threat to our account to the south side. If you went short, congrats, paid off. All right. And this gap took us to an 55.53 and anticipated move. Delete, delete, delete. All right, that looks better. So last week we were at 54.47 and we ended at 59.39. We're at the middle of the trend here, but from here to here, that's a big climb. So that's all done. I can expect a little bit of a pullback going sideways and then taking care of these gaps. What else? Okay, we have this gap to look forward to, an opportunity gap to the upside, and then this opportunity gap as well. Not in the channel, not in the zone, not even close. Okay, the next one is Boeing. Let's give you some price targets. The middle of the trend is now here at 180.84. Okay, 186.72. 189.55, and don't hold your breath, 192.38, 174.99, 172.20, 169.18. As far as this gap goes, that opened on March 28th, and yay, that came true. 179.03, oops, deleted the wrong thing. Delete, that started at 178.03, delete. All right, that's done. Get rid of that one. What else? Oh, this opportunity gap also touched. And we gapped down, so we reversed course and touched on Wednesday, the 23rd-ish. Wednesday. That took us to 168. Nope, wrong thing. Delete. Okay, and everything else looks like it is done. So last week we ended at 161 and now we're at 177. So if we continue to go up, the end of the week, the middle of the trend could be 204. We could hit there. We could hit 198, 195, and should we be so lucky, 192-ish as well. Okay? Many ways to look at that. Oh, is that? Oh no, we have more gaps. Okay, this is going to be on my gap and go trades for a while because we tanked and we have many gaps to fill to the upside. All right, that's all I have for that one. Let's look at Nike. All right, here are your price targets. 58.48, 58.90, and don't hold your breath, 59.36. The middle of the trend is right where we're at, basically. Okay, we could chop sideways. 56.72, 56.30, 55.84. Looking left, this gap touched right here. Let me clean it up. That took us down to 57.19. This gap to the upside took us to 55.72. And what happened? Oh, it's right here. Okay. So this gap, which opened up on Thursday, April the 10th, closed out on Wednesday the 23rd, taking us to 50, and I put 58, excuse me, 58.99, but 59 bucks. Delete. Congrats if you hit the lottery up there. Oops. Okay, that's done. And what was, oh, hold on, Command Z. Wrong thing. Oh, it's up here. Okay, Command Z again. Gosh darn it. Now, I just need to move this one out of the way. There are too many little... Okay, this one touched right here on the 23rd, as I mentioned. And let me put this one back. Okay, so that's... All right, that is that gap, the 57. Delete. This one only lasted, what, a day? Right there, touched to the south side at 57.17-ish, so we're done there. This gap touched officially right there on the 15th, opened up, oh, 1 day gap, okay. That one's done. What else? So we have this gap taking us to 65 bucks. After that, we've got another gap. Not in the channel, not in the zone, not even close. I did buy some Nike leggings this weekend, but not from Nike directly. I don't know. Can you go into Nike's? I've been onto Nike's website. Yeah, you can buy it directly from them, but I don't. I buy from a third party, discounted, and they've been punished. Look at this. It declined 11%. You can't go woke. This bites you in the butt. You gotta appease the masses, okay? Have common sense in your approach to business. And what they did in the past offended a lot of people. And now they're finally just clawing their way back. All right. That's it for now. And they did report earnings right here, and they made 11.27 billion and only anticipated 11 billion. That is still a ton of money. But here, look at this. It went up afterwards, and then doesn't matter, you're still getting punished. People want a deal. Everybody got off, and then this is the better buying opportunity down here. Better at 52.28 though. Okay, next one, Unilever. A couple things about Unilever. First, I'm going to give you the price targets. We're at 62.62. I was in this trade and I got out, but I still own some other shares that I'm just doing long term. Okay, 62.62, down 1.68%. After earnings, it tanked. Typical, right? People taking their profits and they run, they lock in and they leave, and I went with them. Okay, this was right there, Friday. All right, to the north side, 63.17, 63.60, and 64.03. To the south side, 62.29. If we bounce off this line and support, we could go up and then, or go sideways. All right, this is a line from 2024. Ignore that. 61.43, 60.98, and 60.56. Now, let me mark out this gap. This is an opportunity to go up at 63.69 whenever we reverse, but right now we're still, as you can clearly see, in a downward channel. Let's take this gap. Well, no, let's go with this one. That's a gap to the upside. That'll take us to roughly 65.36 or 34. This gap we gapped up, which means we will close to the south side. Let's clean this up. Did we touch? Yeah, right there. I'll just give that a win on the 23rd. So that took us down to 63.73. Delete. That's done. And this gap, oh, look at that. If you look left, this gap opened up on the 17th of April and just closed on the 25th. So congrats if you anticipated that move that I pointed out. That took us down to roughly 62.61 or yes, right here. Duh, I marked it out. And then this gap, okay, so that one's done, and this one is still in play. So we've got more bleeding to do at 62.16. And we could touch that and close that out on Monday. That's definitely within the range. That's a safe range. This one maybe on Monday as well, but definitely by Tuesday we could close it out if we continue to go south, which I prefer to bleed out and rip off the Band-Aid and just close it out. And then we have these gaps, and that's why I got off the gravy train. I knew there were gaps alerting me to the south side, so I got out with certain shares, and then I kept certain shares. I probably should have sold it all. Oh, well. All right, what happened? Okay, this one is still in play, and these gaps too, so I'll clean that up later. Okay, but I am done tracking this for the purposes of the gap and go trades because I had tracked this for many, many, many weeks, and the last gap was at 64.92, and I'll show you this in the big picture. But I want to show you on the monthly time frame. All right, I tracked this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now that doesn't make sense. 7. Let me go back to the 5. Hold on a second. Or let me go to the daily, see if that shows it. Because that's 5 months. For the weeks, this is how long I've been tracking it for the daily here, under the daily time frame. But I really should show this on the 5. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. Is that 28 weeks? Let me go back to the 5. Let me see if I can compress this. I can't. Bummer. Let's see if I can compress this on the hourly. Yeah. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. Yeah, 28 weeks there. Because when I first saw this, it had bled out, okay? The price bled out. I'm like, oh, I love that because I am a value trader, or a value investor, I should say. This is already closed out, so let me fix that. And these have already closed out. I should get rid of all that as well, but it's been a while. So 64.53 is the highest gap that I saw that was an open wound, okay, that needed to be filled, and we filled it to the upside. 65.87 is the highest we've ever gotten, and it's this wick right here. 65.87. I can't quite get, yeah, right there. This line. And we never hit it when I got out. We hit 64 something when I got off of the gravy train. It's hard to see here, but that's why I decided to get off. But I still own the shares. I sold off the more expensive ones. I still own the share that I bought at 51.13 and at this pink line 44.58 and 51.13 ish right there. So I own these two lots still, and I sold out of the shares that I owned at, what did I have to go back and figure out what I did here. It's best that I do this on the hourly time frame. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, I sold off the 55 lot. And I have, okay, yeah, I sold off, there's lots that I have at 53.79. These lots I still own. And that gave me a return of 21%. And then, what is this one? Did I sell? I'm going to have to figure this out, what I did. Oh, that's orange. That has nothing to do with what I own. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to get off whenever we hit the next. Where is the next price target? Right here. Well, 65.47, basically getting us back to the level we've been before at a high, the 52-week high, and then 74.56. I might just hold my long-term shares to get into the high 60s. But this thing is going to definitely whip you around. Let me tell you that right now. Let me do two more very quickly. I digress. I've got to go. All right. But I did a video on Unilever by itself, so you can see what I did if you're interested in that. All right, the middle of the trend for NEO takes us right there to basically to an area we've been before. So I will just delete the one above it. I don't need it. This is just for you. So you guys, oops, can kind of see what I've done. All right. Then 436, back to an area we've been, 447 and 457 to the south side. 396, 386, and 375. This gap wound is still in play to the south side. This gap closed while we were chugging our way up. That's done. This one also paid dirt right there on the 22nd. These gaps have been in play for a little while. Thursday the 3rd. Delete, delete, delete. And this one is also done. And that's done. This touched right here at 422. Delete. Oops, wrong one. Touched at 393, so that is no longer in play. Congrats if you went long. That closed. All we did was reverse trend. You can see that a mile away. This one did not touch yet, and that one is still in play. That will take us. Let's do the downside. It'll touch starting at 446, and then this one will take us to 471, and then 496. Other gaps to go for NEO. We had a good week, I feel like. Now we're down, but yeah, we ran. And we were at 353, ended at 403. From the week before, and then, oh, why haven't I marked out 4? Oh yeah, that's 403 and then 353. Yeah. Okay. That's that one. What is this 417? I got to extend it. Let me extend that. All right, now Intel. Traded this one in the past. I still own it for myself and for my mom. All right, I'm up though, thank goodness. 2005 is where we ended. The middle of the trend is right here. Let's delete the lower one. I'll just delete that one. All right. 2198, 2265, and back to an area we've been in 2024 at 2333. To the south side. 1932, retracing 1867-ish. Excuse me, my allergies have not gone away. 18 bucks. All right. So I own the shares down here still. I could have sold out way above, and now I'm just waiting to get back to an area that it hit that was super high for me. I would have gotten out, but I didn't. Okay, so with this gap, let's talk about this gap still in play, taking us to 2142. This gap is still in play to the downside, roughly 2067-ish. This gap touched to the downside when we reversed, slammed down. That ended, excuse me, at 1955. This one, if we retrace, will take us to 1888. Fingers crossed, we still go up. Okay, this gap touched right here on the 23rd, opened up on the 16th, delete. Oops, wrong one. Goodness, I gotta move this. Nope. Here, I'll touch it over there. Okay, done. So price was at 1893 last time I looked at this, and now it's at 2005 for the middle of the, well, price-wise, excuse me, not the middle of the trend. If I said that previously, ignore what I said. These are just price labels. All right, this one touched, or that didn't touch right there, I don't think. Let me make this a little bit bigger. That did not touch. Nope, it touched right there on the 24th. Took us to 2141. Congrats. Okay, and then there was this gap. Where did this gap touch? Oh, this is the one that is still in play. That just started. Okay, so that's done. This is where I sold out before 2142 previously, lining up with a gap fill. And then this will take us to 22 bucks, ending at 29. Please let us just end this up here at 29 bucks. So we have this gap. I gotta figure out where this thing, I'll fix this one later. Too many things in the way. Oh, right there. No, that's not the one I want. Yeah, I'll fix that one later. But just know that those are the targets. This is the one gap. Oh, wait, we gapped down. So this one will fill to the upside. And then this is the next target right here at 22 bucks. Why isn't it that I can't? Yeah. Okay, that's it. I'm done. That is a look at your gap and go trades for the week of, what is this, the 28th through May 2nd. If there's a ticker you'd like me to go over, please let me know, and have a great trading day.